everyone. Welcome to our ARC Spotlight. It's great to be back with all of you today and the South Bank team. It's been a little bit of time since we've had a webinar on South Bank, and a lot's been happening on site. So we're looking forward to sharing that with you today. My name is Courtney Chapman. I'll be moderating the webinar today, and I'm joined by my panelists, Ingo Reckhorn, partner at Windward Development and one of the innovative developers behind South Bank, amongst other projects. How are you, Ingo?
Good afternoon.
Nice to see you.
Great to be here.
I am also joined by Nikheel Advani, COO and Principal of Grace Bay Resorts, a leading property manager in Turks and Caicos. How are you, Nikheel?
Good, Courtney. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you. And last but certainly not least, our very own Joe Zahm, President of Turks and Caicos Sotheby's International Realty, the leading real estate brokerage here in the islands. Hi, Joe. How are you?
Good afternoon, everyone. Pleasure to be here.
To summarize our session today, we'll be covering a few topics. Ingo is going to bring you up to speed on what's been happening on site at South Bank. Joe will provide you a market update and some background on this winning project, which has seen such strong sales performance since its launch in 2019. Then we'll hear from Nikheel, who will speak to the service aspect of the resort, the imminent operational opening date, which I know you'll all be looking forward to hearing about, and of course, what makes the partnership with Grace Bay Resorts so special and unique. And finally, we'll look forward to sharing the unique ownership opportunities that remain within ARC, the last neighborhood available at South Bank. That construction start date is right around the corner, so we'll want to provide you with an overview of what promises to be the most exclusive and arguably the most sophisticated building in Turks and Caicos. So if you have any questions for the team, please feel free to use your chat box. We'll have some time at the end of the session, and we can have a short Q&A. Thanks so much for being here with us, and I'll hand it over to Ingo.
Thanks a lot, Courtney. First of all, is everybody registered? Do we have a good group of listeners today?
Yep, we've got about 66 people listening at the moment.
That's exciting. Well, I'm certainly excited about being able to host another webinar with my group of panelists here that we've worked with so tirelessly over the last couple of years. We first did a webinar in about 2020, I would say, to be able to present the different South Bank neighborhoods and house designs during the COVID period. And that certainly feels like it was a lifetime ago now. And a lot has happened since then. So I'm very pleased that we can follow the popular demand of doing another webinar and sharing where we stand right now with South Bank as we're imminently constructing or starting the construction on ARC, as you mentioned, Courtney. We have a lot of owners with us today, I believe, from the registration list. So South Bank owners, welcome to all of you, and thank you so much for all of the support and great partnership that we've had with you. You're instrumental in everything that I'm sharing today, and the vision of South Bank coming to life, and we're very grateful for that. Also, I believe we have a lot of members of the TCI real estate community with us today. So a big thank you to all of you as well. We are reliant on your great work, and we're happy that you're dialing in to share our most iconic building in the islands, as we feel. And you might hear that word once or twice more this afternoon as we move through the presentation. For those not too familiar with Turks and Caicos, just a very brief introduction to the location. So this is Providenciales, one of about 40 islands in the Turks and Caicos. South Bank is located on the southern shore, where on the western side of Long Bay Beach. Exactly, thank you, right there, if you can see the mouse. It's about 18 minutes by car from the Provo International Airport. So by normal North American standards, that is a hop, skip, and a jump. And then we're only about 7 or 8 minutes away from Grace Bay, the dining and shopping hub on the island. So really close to that as well. So in addition to the offerings that we'll have at South Bank itself, you'll be really easily transferred over to that side of the island where, for instance, the Grace Bay Club or Point Grace or other of our partner resorts operated by Grace Bay Resorts will be located. So a really convenient location. Long Bay Beach itself is a very important feature for South Bank. It's a 3-mile stretch of beach on the south side of Provo, and we are located on the western edge of it. So right here where the mouse is on the right-hand side of the screen is where Long Bay Beach comes in, and we have a dedicated beach access within South Bank that allows you to access that beach and take advantage of the long Caribbean beach walks. Just a brief refresher on South Bank, we have 4 distinct neighborhoods at South Bank. First but not necessarily foremost, we have our Ocean Estate. The Ocean Estate has a number of different house designs. We have a total of 19 villas along the ocean front. It's about 2,200 feet of oceanfront and beachfront. 17 of those villas were thus far offered in the market, and they're all sold and under construction. And in fact, 7 of them already have their owners moved in. And we're moving roughly 2 owners in per month moving forward now through to August. We're currently designing 1 further house type for our villas 18 and 19 adjacent to the ARC building, which will follow some of the ARC design principles, but I won't go into too much detail on those today. That will be for another webinar at a later date. Second neighborhood that I'd like to highlight is our Lagoon neighborhood. The Lagoon is somewhat of a hub for South Bank. We have 18 villas around the circumference of this 5-acre body of water that is fed by the ocean. All of those have been completed and occupied by their owners. In addition to that, the lagoon is really an important feature aspect. So first of all, in the center of the lagoon, we have our Lagoon Islands. Those offer a second beach destination within South Bank after the walking beach experience that Long Bay Beach offers. It's a very protected experience, ideal for families. The Lagoon Islands, as you can see, in addition to being lushly landscaped, also have lounging facilities on them. And then some facilities for beautiful evenings facing the sunset with fire pits, twinkly lights, and even a tiki hut bar on the first island on the left so that you'll be able to have a cocktail there in the evening before you go to one of our restaurant facilities. Our fitness center, which spans about 1,500 square feet, is now fully operational. It's equipped with state-of-the-art techno gym equipment, and as you can see here as well, it has beautiful views across the lagoon. It's probably one of the most picturesque fitness center experiences around. In addition to our tennis and pickleball courts, this provides you an opportunity for your well-being, to take care of yourself. Then also located on the lagoon is the Clubhouse, which is nearing construction completion. It's also set on the lagoon beach, spilling out into the sand with fire pits, lounge seating. There's a pizza station, a restaurant on the left side that you see here, a planted courtyard in the center. The trees have been planted and they're sprouting nicely already. And then a bar area on the right-hand side of the screen that has views towards the sunset as well. This is the Clubhouse on the entrance side of it, near the Porte Cochere, where the check-in facilities, the concierge facilities are, that leads into this beautiful courtyard. Everything is designed with our relaxed sophistication theme in mind at South Bank. And again, taking advantage of that lagoon with the sunset facing orientation across the water of the lagoon and the lagoon beach. This will be a really stunning place to come right after you have your cocktail on the islands, our tiki bar. And that Clubhouse, so this shows the restaurant, is scheduled to be complete at the end of this month. The restaurant will be called Lua, which means moon in Portuguese. The menu is Mediterranean, Caribbean inspired. We have a great chef on island already who's been going through the different Grace Bay Resort restaurants to gain experience and bring his experience in as well. He is, well, Nikheel can talk a little bit more about that later, where he hails from. The space is slated for completion by the end of the month, but full resort operation and restaurant operation will commence November 1st with the last stage of our phased opening. But again, Nikheel will touch on that again a little bit later. And our third neighborhood are the boathouses. The boathouses are 5 buildings with 38 townhome residences ranging from 1 to 3 bedrooms. There's a community pool area in the center. Each one has a dedicated boat dock directly on the rear terrace. The terraces are floating above the water directly on the rear slider of your residence. So it's a really stunning connection to the surrounding water, 270 degrees around you, and a lot of them overlooking Juba Sound, which you can see here on this image. So quite a unique product, and that's something that we as well, that we always create a unique connection to the water with every residence type at South Bank. And with the boathouses, it's that direct proximity and the boat dock on the back of your unit. We are a couple of weeks away from starting furnishing in our building D and handing over at the end of the month. And then we hand building by building over every 2 weeks with completion by the end of July. Out of the 38 boathouses, we have sold 34. So we have 1 3-bedroom and 3 2-bedrooms still available. But I don't expect that to be the case much longer, so don't hesitate. Prices for a fully furnished boathouse start at 2.15. So you can contact us if there's any interest in that. The landscaping in the central dedicated boathouse pool. The landscaping in that central area is currently in progress, and yeah, I'm happy to say that this is probably the most gratifying moment in the construction process for any developer. That's when the landscaping goes in. So yeah, it's been a long road for the boathouses, but they're turning out really, really beautifully, and we're very pleased that we'll be able to hand those over to their owners very soon. Before we move on to the fourth and final neighborhood, which is ARC, and which is meant to be the focal point of our presentation today, I wanted to turn back time a little bit and reminisce. This is how we found the South Bank site in 2017 when we started working on the vision of South Bank, which at the time was our next step after our Blue Key project up in Leeward on the northeastern side of the island. At the time, we were the architecture firm Blee Halligan on Blue Key, and we decided to use them here for South Bank as well and work with them because we had great experiences and great customer feedback about their work. And they developed a master plan together with us, and this was the master plan that was developed at the time. And you know, some said to us at the time, that looks very ambitious. Actually, I can probably say everyone said to us at the time that looks very ambitious. But that's what we started with, and this is what we are looking at today. So obviously, we still have some work left, but we think that it is safe to say that we're getting close to where we wanted to be and where that original vision sat, and we're very, very happy with those results. I almost prefer this angle of the project. And if you click to the render to reality, it's almost difficult to tell which is render and which is reality. And that's something that we really pride ourselves in as a development firm, that we craft waterfront communities with an end result that is extremely close to that initial spark of the idea. And that's really important to us. Yeah, it was really the same with Blue Key at the time, that we had an initial render. We built a canal, and with that initial render of that canal, with the 15 villas located around the canal, if you look at the final images of where it sits today, it's really, really close. One small detail still missing here on this picture compared to the render, and that is ARC. But before I talk about more details on ARC, I wanted to invite Joe to give a little updates on his experience with South Bank and his views on South Bank and the Turks and Caicos market.
Thank you, Ingo. That was great. Well, my involvement in South Bank has been life-changing to the extent that I own a lagoon villa and live there. My enthusiasm grew throughout the months and years as we were involved in the project. And I recall our first meeting when I looked at this, and I looked at Ingo and Ivan, and I said, "This is a really big project. Like, how are we going to sell all this real estate?" And this was probably what, 18, I guess. We were sitting talking about this, and then of course we started very slowly and into COVID. And then we found that a truly great product met a great market, and a historic product met a historic market at the right time and created a, history-making sales performance with this project, with well over $250 million sold with regard to our four facets, our ocean estates, our lagoon villas, our boathouses, and now ARC, which is, Ingo, close to 50% sold, right? And starting construction this coming month. So it's been an amazing experience. And when I think of South Bank and I think of Windward developers, they're very singular developers. They don't do cookie cutter projects. They build amazing value on the land that they purchase. If you look at what happened in Blue Key with their project, they bought a piece of vacant dirt. They created probably the nicest canal in Turks and Caicos, beautiful beaches, beautiful piers. At the time, there were naysayers. How are they going to do that? How are they going to do that? They did it. They exceeded expectations. The reality exceeds the renderings that were done. So they came to South Bank with that tremendous success under their belt and track record in providing incredible value added to what was already lovely land, but making it even more dynamic and enhancing the waterfront experiences. With regard to the market and the Turks and Caicos market, that $250 million in sales between 2020 and 2023 really helped to reset the market. Our market resets at over 50% in dollar volume per year, what it was at its very best pre-COVID in 2019. Further, it demonstrated the ability to sell different types of products, different product segments, right? You had the ultra high-end ocean estates, which sold for in the $4 million to over $14.5 million. And we have a couple new exciting designs, which will probably be, towards the upper end of that price register. We had the lagoon villas, which we started selling at around circa $2 million. We've had two resales there at 3.55 and 3.65 respectively. They were very easy sales. One sold in a few months, one sold in a few weeks. There's like waiting list demand for those. And then the boathouses, we've sold 34 of 38, and they're coming together now. I just took a walk, even though I'm not allowed to. I cheated and went up at sunrise and took a walk there and saw the amazing pool and the hardscape. It's very, very high-end environment for the price point that people purchased at the boathouses. So the combination of the sales volume and being able to sell the different components of the product, and of course, Ingo's going to speak extensively about ARC later. But even at ARC, I think when we launched it, people looked at the price points and said, "This is really expensive for a condominium," but it's really not when one gets into the metrics of those residences. Piero Lissoni, with the direction of Ivor and Ingo and Windward, designed an iconic building that one would not normally see in a 17-residence building. Those talents are often saved for 60-story buildings in Miami and 70-story buildings in New York City or in Dubai or Singapore. And to see such amazing talent and soul go into such a boutique building was very inspiring to me. And I said it at the time. It's taken the market a little while to understand it. And I think some of that, Ingo and team, is because of the beach, and the beach is being developed now. And every week we see the progress on the beach. And that's really awe-inspiring how that is being brought together, including the hundreds to thousands of 7,000-foot concrete blocks, which anchor it. So I'm always energized and inspired whenever I walk around the site or I'm at the site. But when I look at it, I just see it as a singular visionary project that is not repeatable. There will never be anything close to this. This is not like a vertical building on Grace Bay that if you miss that opportunity, you'll get the opportunity at the next building. It might not be the same. And certainly I have my favorites there, and many know who those are. But at the same, which ones are my favorites? But I would just say that it's in that regard, it's very unique and singular, and that's one reason why so it's been so popular with people who love the product and understand the product. Many of the people who are on this webinar today, many of our owners, many of our existing clients, and many of the real estate community and our team. So I can't say enough except that, I love it. Moving to ARC, I would say just briefly, Ingo will touch on this in more detail later. ARC, I think, does a great job of combining the best of a vertical experience and a private villa experience. On the vertical side, it will give outlooks that are smashing. People will feel like they're in their own private villa. That's what the whole Sky Villa and Suspended Villa concept was like, that Piero designed at the direction and encouragement of Ingo and Ivor. And those combinations are really outdoor spaces, the private plunge pool or full pool, your own bespoke landscaping. And it's really something, again, completely unique to the jurisdiction. And that's something that has been a pleasure to be involved in with that uniqueness. One other thing that ARC will provide that Ingo will speak about in design and Nikheel will speak about next in the operations is ARC will really be the heartbeat of South Bank. And I can just tell you as a resident, I have my family in this Christmas and we spent 2 glorious weeks and we walked to play pickleball. We walked to play tennis. We played basketball. We walked to the marina. We went fishing. We walked to the marina. We went to lunch at Omar's. Things are right there and it's only getting better. We go to the islands, we swim. But now that the spa is getting ready to open, the fitness center is world class. And once Lua opens, then we'll be almost finished. It's going to be like a complete project, but then ARC will be the coup de grace on top of everything, and will really be the thing that sets it apart on a market level worldwide. So with that said, just really grateful to have been involved in the project this long, and very grateful to live there. And I wanted to turn it over to Nikheel Advani, who's going to go into detail about the operation of ARC and give you a bit of background on Grace Bay Resorts, really a premier 5-star operator worldwide.
Joe, thank you so much. Now, it's going to be odd for me to say this, but Joe's my neighbor at South Bank because I own a Lagoon Villa as well. So, the proof is in the pie. We believe in it. We're excited about it. When Ingo and Ivo came to talk to Grace Bay Resorts about this, we felt very fortunate to be considered to run this property. And over the years, as he's developed it, both of them, we look back at why resorts, people ask. And we start with, both of us are Turks and Caicos companies operating here for more than 30 years. We both believe in our people. We hire local employees. Most of our properties and businesses have a majority of local persons who've been trained to deliver incredible emotional attachments. The service levels that they're able to provide here in the Turks and Caicos has been second to none. And we realized that when Travel and Leisure just put out their 500 best list, 3 of the Grace Bay Resorts properties in the Turks and Caicos were in that 500 global list. We also believe in doing the best. As you see, they've taken on a really incredible project. It's become iconic, as you can see. Everybody wants to be the best, and I think Grace Bay Resorts, we share that philosophy, excellence in everything we do. And the other part we felt was very important is the community. Both Windward and Grace Bay Resorts are very integral in the community and do a lot of things to make sure that you get a real feel of Turks and Caicos when you come to South Bank and ARC. The other thing we share, and Ingo's talked a lot about this, is a deep connection and passion for the water. And in Turks and Caicos, having been voted best beaches in the world, and the water with the turquoise and blues is quite an incredible asset to have part of this community. Why we're going to talk a little bit about the experiences you're going to have when you're there. One important thing about ARC that I want to mention is that in the design with Pierre Lestoni, two things that really are different. One of the things that Ingo and I have done has the units have multiple lockoffs. And for those of you who understand that this is the first project, there are multiple lockoffs. Most projects have a single lockoff. And in terms of the economics, that allows higher occupancies, also for high-end groups, multi-generational families and that. So that's a consideration to keep with ARC. And ARC being the center of attraction, what are the experiences going to be? And I'm going to share some of the South Bank pillars that relate to this. The oceanside yachting and boating will have the first boat concierge in Turks and Caicos at South Bank. Now, this will be if you want to go out for deep sea fishing, you want to go on a half-day tour, or if you want to just have your boat maintained, the boat concierge will take care of everything. So that's really important. The other thing is culinary. In terms of culinary, this is really important. Ingo already mentioned we have our executive chef, Nurul, who came from Sandy Lane. He's worked at many top luxury resorts around the world. Now, what's the experience going to be at ARC? Now, you can have room service sent up to you. You can have a fine dining experience, but you can also have a private chef experience and the expanse of the outdoor kitchen or indoor kitchen. So it really depends on what you'd like. But that you can be sitting at your pool, having a bottle of rosé, just looking out to the vistas and the view of the Caicos Banks. So those experiences, so you have the best of both worlds in that you have a sky villa and you have all the amenities of a world-class resort. Also, you can have in-villa spa services. That's really great. You'll have a beautiful spa, as Ingo has shown you, just around the lagoon with incredible views. Or you can be in your own sky villa, having this incredible massage, and then after that, having a nice meal that is cooked by the chef. All the sky villas will come with butler services. Again, this is so when you are picked up from the airport, brought to your sky villa, all you have to do is leave your bags. They'll unpack for you. They'll set you up. And they've already been in communication with you to make sure that all your activities and restaurant reservations are taken care of. Whatever your personal preferences are, these butlers are well trained to make sure that they exceed expectations when you're staying at ARC or anywhere at South Bank. We have a whole team of these very passionate individuals who have already started to be on the team and trained. So we're very excited about that. The ARC also, as we said, will be a central meeting place for everybody at South Bank. We will have a restaurant there, and that will be Japanese inspired. But also think about the beach experience and the pool experiences of the spectacular 150-foot pool. You can have meals there. You can sit down, relax, a bottle of champagne if you'd like. So all these, relate to an incredible beach experience. Or you can just be transported to the Long Bay Beach and have that long walk that you'll be dreaming and see the sun go down. So a lot of fun things here. Let me pass it back to Ingo, I believe, who will talk about the ARC in detail.
Thank you very much, Nikheel. Perfect timing.
It's very important that everyone's complimenting you because you wouldn't be saying these things about yourself.
Oh, I just realized that we're both at ARC. What unit are you in? Judging by the image behind your head.
Yes, we are.
I was gonna say I'm the only one here without a place at South Bank, so I'll have one at ARC, please. Put me down.
Right. Well, I will talk about ARC now, I guess. So maybe just a couple of words about our initial inspiration. When you look at the master plan of South Bank again here, and you see ARC on the southwestern corner of it, it becomes quite evident how important this specific location is for the South Bank community. You have the beach, the resort beach on its southern shoreline. And it's a nodal point between the boathouses and between all the villas at South Bank. So we knew we needed something really, really specific and something really iconic designed for that specific location. And then also the fact that it's surrounded by water on all sides provides a huge opportunity in this design. You have sunrise views to the east, obviously, and sunset views to the west. and the southern side flanked by the Caicos Bank, the northern side flanked by Juba Sound, as well as our very own lagoon and boathouse basin, mean that you're surrounded by water on all sides. So it's a tremendously important and tremendously stunning site that required a special touch. So we had 3 goals for the architects for this art design. One was, and I'll say it again, an iconic building. Second was soft integration into South Bank as a whole. And I'll show you in a second what that means. And third of all, we wanted to create a living experience that really pairs villa-like living with an experience of an elevated condominium building. And we tasked an architect with this named Piero Lissoni. Piero Lissoni is one of the leading architects in the world. He has offices in Milan and New York. He's successfully designed for some of the world's most successful luxury brands, like hotel brands like Ritz-Carlton, like Shangri-La, Oberoi, all over the world, in the US, in Asia, in Europe, Bulgari hotels, and. But what really intrigued us about him was that he doesn't only focus on architecture, he's also a product designer. He designs and art directs for high design brands, mostly hailing from Italy, like Boffi Kitchens, like B&B Italia furniture, Living Divani furniture, but also for other areas of real estate development. Starting from floor tiles through vanities, bathroom fixtures, lighting fixtures, interior and exterior doors, you name it. He has art directed for the leaders of that specific industry. And that made him very interesting for us because it allows him to design in a very integrated way, pulling his design intent all the way through the product. And we really like that aspect of him, and we're very proud that he agreed to work with us on ARC and create something that we thought was really, really unique. And let me show you how it's translated to the building of ARC. Some of you may have seen this image already, but maybe now that I've just mentioned all the design guidelines that we gave, it becomes quite evident of how it was transported into the final design. So we see here a building with floors that step back as you move up in the building, which creates a very soft roof line that arcs gently. That's where the name ARC comes from. And it integrates with the roof line of our ocean estate villas along the Iron Shore. And creates a much softer approach than a more rectangular building style that most designs these days are, especially when you look at contemporary design. He also used a very warm material palette that embraces landscaping on all levels, and that not only allows us to create a more green facade, but also allows us, looking from the inside out, to create gardens for every unit. Every residence, has its own garden areas, and included in those garden areas, we have pools or hot tubs in every sky villa. We have outdoor kitchens, outdoor showers, alfresco dining spaces, outdoor lounge areas, so you can really live an indoor-outdoor villa-like living lifestyle elevated on the floor of a condo building. And that was what we felt was a real winner for this design and made it a very unique building for Turks and Caicos. Let me show you a little special animation that we've created. And this is something that we use regularly as a tool because it really puts ARC in its place in situ at South Bank and highlights that three-dimensional location with water surrounding it on all levels. So we have 5 floors that are residential, which are floors 2 through 6. The sky villas range from 2-bedroom villas through 3-bedroom, and then we have one final one penthouse, which is a 5-bedroom that spans the entire top floor. That's about 12,600 square feet on the top floor. On the ground floor, we have a number of functional areas ranging from a dedicated ARC gym facility, in addition to the other gym that I talked about earlier, a boardroom, an ARC residence lounge and concierge area that runs from the roadside through to the beachfront here in the center of the building between the two pools. One of the pools on the ground floor is dedicated to ARC residents with lounging facilities, spa. And then the other pool, which is a statement pool of 150 feet in length that sits on the western side of the Art Garden, directly abutting the beach. And that entire pool and beach area is serviced by the restaurant facility, which we also have on the ground floor on this side of the building. It is designed to be a Japanese fusion restaurant, which we are naming izakaya, which is Japanese for a communal space, a community space, a tavern, a place to enjoy food with friends and family and exchange views and interesting conversations. So that's a translation of izakaya in a nutshell. And we're very pleased that Chris Meredith and his team from Grace Bay Resorts came up with this concept very early in the design process. So we were able to seamlessly bring in a sushi bar that sits on the edge of the building and then spills out into the garden of ARC around the pool area. So we're really looking forward to that second dining outlet at South Bank. You can see nicely here how the slabs step back from one another, creating a mixture of covered spaces and uncovered spaces on all floors, providing the opportunity of those pool areas. Some of the pools are as long as 30 feet, and some units have beautifully integrated hot tubs. Everything is being all the pools are being manufactured as full stainless steel pool bodies that are then tiled on site. It's all state of the art, very, very beautifully done. What you can see here as well on the ground floor are the parking facilities. So every unit in ARC has its own dedicated parking space. We have 3 elevator banks in the ARC, which allows us to avoid that sensation of coming out of an elevator and walking into a hallway and looking for the number on your door, because we have a maximum of 2 sky villas sharing an elevator landing. In some cases, also only 1 unit having a dedicated elevator landing. So you actually have a key that's keyed to your floor, and you exit out of your elevator and are directly inside of your sky villa, which is quite unique from a privacy standpoint. So you can go directly from your parking space underground into the elevator and up into your sky villa, which is great. There are really no rooms in any of the sky villas that don't have water view of some sort. I highlighted the location before. That translates on site into having living, dining, kitchen areas facing the south side, the Caicos Bank, as well as your primary bedroom suite. And then facing the north side would be your secondary bedrooms, lock-off bedrooms, which still have water views. And all the units have either sunrise or sunset views, and in some cases both, which is quite special as well. We really enjoy that. You can see here on the very right of the screen a little notch out next to the building. That's where the boat concierge slip is. So if you have your boat docked at the South Bank Marina, you can have it brought around with a phone call. You jump in the elevator, go down, get straight on your boat, go on your boat trip, come back, park the boat there again, have it picked up, brought into the marina, washed, fueled. You can choose to have it commissioned with a cooler full of beer, wine, and champagne. The boat concierge service will take care of all of that for you. So it's an amazing destination for boating.
Mm-hmm. And Ingo, do you mind if I jump in for a second? Just
Sure.
for people who might be listening and wondering, how long does it take if you get picked up by your boat sort of concierge from that spot? How long would it take you to get out to the north side and sort of out to the uninhabited keys? I mean, there's plenty to do on the south side, but a lot of people like to go down there and get off the boat and spend some time on the beach. So how long roughly are you from there?
It depends on your boat, of course.
And your driving skills.
Anywhere from 10 to 15 minutes to get around to the north side. And equally, it's probably about half an hour due south to get to French Key. You are about half an hour due west from the Pirate Caves and southwest Bluff. Probably 45 minutes to West Caicos. Ambergris Key, 45 minutes. So you have some beautiful destinations down there, whether you want to go fishing or diving or whale watching, you can do that very easily from this location.
Wonderful.
We have a draft of 8.5 feet. So we're in the process of planning some super yacht slips as well in the marina for up to 150 feet. So those will be located directly adjacent to the boathouses as well. And we have about 55 slips for boat sizes up to 60 feet right now, as well as a 400-foot main dock that can already host boats of up to 170 feet now. So there's plenty of offering. There's a little Trinidadian restaurant right now at the marina as well, which
Heard good things about that.
Can take advantage of. It's very cute. And we have more planned in the future for marina expansion as well.
And am I right in saying, Ingo, as well, that at the affiliated marina at Caicos Marina, you can purchase boats directly from there, that they have sort of a mix of used boats and then I believe a few sort of branded boats like Axopar and a couple of different types.
And many of our owners have already taken advantage of that over the last year or so. So yes, Axopar, Windy, Invincible, Boston Whaler, those are some of the brands. Sailfish, those are some of the brands that are represented by the marina. It's very, very effortless, and the feedback I've gotten so far from owners that have done that has been very positive.
Yeah, yeah. I had a buyer for a home in Leeward, and so we toured recently because he was looking for a boat, and it was a wonderful experience. It's a great staff there, and yeah, very straightforward.
That's good to hear. In terms of our availability in ARC,
yes, this is what we're waiting for.
Yeah. So everything that's green is still available, and everything that's red is sold. So we are, I think Joe mentioned it earlier, we're at just over 50%, at 53% sold right now, which means we've hit our threshold to start construction for ARC. We have two bedrooms left available. We have 4 3-bedrooms, as well as 2 3-bedroom corner units, 2A and 2E. And then our penthouse, obviously, as a special highlight. This is really a very unique property. The penthouse actually comes with one of those super yacht slips. So you can have your 150-foot yacht directly behind you in the marina and look down upon it from your penthouse, which is quite lovely. I think that is everything. Maybe, I mentioned we have Boffi Kitchens. Boffi is one of the leading kitchen manufacturers from Italy, leading in the world for high design. It's very unusual that Boffi Kitchens would be used in a building with repetition, but because every ARC sky villa is really unique in terms of its layout and design, the Boffi was perfect to work with us because they are a very good bespoke kitchen manufacturer. So we've had great experiences with them. Maybe a couple of things. I talked about the outdoor living. I think this image shows it very, very well. How you have your garden spaces elevated on all floors, your pools, vast outdoor spaces with outdoor dining, outdoor living, outdoor kitchen, showers. Then in terms of the interior design, like I said, this was very closely managed by Piero Lisoni and his team as well. So we have furniture packages done up in a draft form right now, but what you see here is basically what the furniture package includes, and at least half of the furniture pieces were actually designed by Piero Lisoni, which is great in terms of that design intent that one of the leading architects has. To be able to tap into that for a product like ARC was fantastic for us, and hopefully also for owners. You can see here a lot of special touches, like the walls here are executed in a plaster. It's not just a painted wall. The floor tiles are 4x4 floor tiles designed by Piero Lisoni. Floor to ceiling windows, 10-foot ceiling height. I'm just throwing out a couple of interesting facts that people might have questions about. This is the bedroom that shows one of the hot tubs directly accessible from the primary bedroom. All the lighting in ARC, we're working with Delta Lights, which is a very high-end architectural lighting manufacturer. And then you can see here, minimalistic but warm and elegant in terms of the finishes, wall-mounted taps by Fantini, which is an Italian designer. The line again designed by Piero Lisoni. Beautiful bathtubs, natural stone wall highlight finishes. So all very high end. We're not cutting typical developer corners anywhere on this building. One of the probably most interesting topics for most, what's the schedule and how is it actually done? So what you see here is the location of ARC within South Bank. And the first thing we are in the process of doing is creating the beach. To create the beach, we have to build 2 groin structures. And those groin structures are currently being built. You can see it here as an animation. They are they have a concrete base underneath and covered in stone, and then the beach is placed behind that, so it's protected and open in the central area where the mouth of that beach is. We are currently in the process of doing that. You'll see that in a couple of following pictures. We schedule to have that all completed, the entire beach completed by November of this year. By the end of May of this year, we're starting with the foundation of ARC. We just need to move those rocks that you may see, those gray basalt rocks, onto the groins, half of which is already done by today. So we're already further advanced than that picture shows. Then by September, October, we'll have the ground floor slab in place. By Christmas, we will be on the 4th floor. And by early February, we'll have the roof on the building. And then by mid-2026, it'll be complete. So we have a very detailed timeline. Here you can see how that all integrates into South Bank right now. You can see that beach groin is extending across to Villa Ocean Estate Villa 14. So it's a 700-foot beach in total, and about 250 to 300 foot across in front of ARC. We're very excited by this process. You can imagine it's a monumental task, and when they ask you how to eat an elephant, one bite at a time, and that's exactly what we're doing here. But it's working very well. You can see on the in the distance, if you can see the cursor over here, this is where the super yacht slips are going. So directly adjacent to the boathouses. And the water concierge slot is right here. The boat concierge slot is right here next to ARC. I think that was everything I had on ARC. Did I forget something? Quote me.
I don't think so, but it's probably a natural segue to one of the questions that we have from an anonymous attendee, so an air of mystery to this one. And the question is, I think probably for you,
Penthouse is 20 million. That was the question, right?
Pardon?
I said the penthouse costs 20 million. Is that the question? No.
No. This is about the beach. And the anonymous attendee wonders, will the beach that they are building in front of ARC be as long/wide as shown on the renderings? From the water at current construction, is it hard to envision this?
Yes. So it's shown as drawn and will be built as drawn. So yes.
Yeah, I mean, it's helpful to see those sort of renders to reality, and especially the image that you showed, Ingo, of the site before you drew up the master plan, because I don't think I've ever seen that image. And you really get a grasp on what Joe's been saying and what Nikheel's been saying, that you guys truly are innovative developers, not just with architecture, but with the way that you've sort of utilized the land. So if that's anything to go by, the Arc Beach will be the same, just as long and just as wide as shown in the renderings.
Yes.
We have a couple of other questions. Michael is asking, when was the boathouse move-in dates, please, and boathouse pool completion date?
Yeah, like I said, so end of May, the building D move-in will take place. And then every 2 weeks, we move from building to building. So it's followed by building E, then building C, building B, and building A in end of July.
Perfect. And that includes obviously the sort of entertainment hub and the pool.
That will be mostly done, if not all done, by the end of May. So for the first building. Yeah.
Another question also from Michael: how will the construction of ARC be hidden from the boathouse area for renters, homeowners?
So we're putting well, first of all the roads will be paved, and all the landscaping around the boathouses will be in place and completed. And we're putting a hard hoarding, printed hoarding with a nice graphic on the side along the entire front of ARC. So you won't be able to see any of the ground floor activities. Of course, once the building goes up, it's very difficult to hide that up to 89 feet. So there will be some element of construction visible. In terms of the sound of construction, your dominant wind direction takes the sound mainly away from all the other areas at South Bank. We have put a number of measures in place to reduce the effect of construction on the rest of the project, especially once it's fully operational in November, of course. That's something that Nikheel always bangs on about. One of the main things is that we have a dedicated workers camp on the other side of the marina, on the other side of the water, where all the construction workers will be housed, and they will be brought by boat straight to the ARC site. So they will not be crossing through the South Bank community. Of course, there will be some material deliveries. We can't avoid that, but it will be curated very well. We're working with a contractor that is very well versed in vertical development in small spaces, mainly in cities where the constraints are similar, if not more stringent than what we have here at South Bank. And they are very, very experienced at that.
Very considerate step. I think you just answered one of the other questions, which was the land clearing being done across from the marina and the boathouses. Is that the second phase of development? It sounds like that's what you were referring to.
So the one section that's facing building C will be super yacht slips, so that will mostly be water. Then we're planning a further marina building between that and the existing floating docks, which will likely have a restaurant in it that people can pull up to by boat. And then so that's the most immediate plan for those areas behind.
One more question from Joseph. Is the pool at Arc the only exclusive outdoor space to the whole community?
So we have two pools at Arc. One, the shorter of the two pools is exclusively for Arc residents. The longer of the two pools is for the South Bank community. Then we have the pool at the boathouses. I think, yeah, those
Let me just chime in here. Obviously, the lagoon area as well. You know, we have
the biggest
swimming lagoons, and if you've seen the pictures or the drone work or walked around, there are numerous areas to hang out. And
I think, Joe, sorry to stop you. I think what Joseph might be getting at is what are the exclusive amenities for ARC specifically? So you have use of you obviously have use of the pool. There's a gym, is that right, Ingo?
Gym, a boardroom. There's a lounge area in the center of the building that also has a concierge facility in it, and you have the parking garage. Those are the exclusive areas.
And to Joe's point, yes, yeah, as well as the use of everything else at South Bank, which is
of course, yeah. If you're an ARC resident, you get to use all facilities at South Bank,
but not my pool.
Exactly. Yeah, I think we have a total of 55.
They can use Nikheel's pool.
Another one from
55 pools at South Bank, so the pool use will be spread out quite nicely.
Yeah, and Joe, I'm a hospitality guy, so of course they can come to my pool.
Another question from Joseph for you guys. Any long-term plans for boat storage indoors?
We have nothing indoors right now. I assume that means at the marina, at the South Bank Marina. There was well, it's a affiliated organization, so I can't really speak too much about that. But there was some consideration for covered storage space at some point, but I'm not sure exactly where that is. If you reach out to me, Joe, I can find that out in more detail for you.
Next question from Michael. Are there renderings for the restaurant in ARC to see? Good question, Michael.
So the restaurant is actually not in ARC. So the restaurant kitchen is in ARC, but the actual restaurant is basically a long bar counter for sushi bar as well as cocktail bar that runs along the outside perimeter of ARC. And then the actual seating for the restaurant is outside under umbrellas. So it's al fresco dining, if you will, just to the western side of the ARC building.
I think that might be it for the questions. Todd's just asked the same question. Maybe we could just answer it one more time in case he missed it previously. It appears some land has been cleared between the marina and Juba Sound. Are there plans to develop there as well? Sounds like there's a few things happening over there.
Yeah, no land has been cleared there. We have put some foundations in place for container housing for the construction workers, but nothing was cleared. Yeah.
I love the sound of that restaurant idea for the marina. Phase 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's an ambitious, as everyone said, it's an ambitious project, and very grateful to have been a part of it as well, from my end, Ingo. Is there anything else, guys, that you wanted to say to our audience, or are we happy to wrap it up for today?
Well, first of all, I speak for Ivor and Kyle and myself here. I want to thank everybody who's on this call again, who has been in some fashion involved in South Bank, because without all of you, none of this would be possible. And I want to thank my fellow panelists for being here and making the time today. And not only today, obviously, all the hard work everybody's put into the last years of getting us to this point. So we're very excited about this year. Yeah, it's fantastic. we just can't wait to have celebrations with everybody on site with a glass of champagne in our hands.
Love that. Thanks, Ingo. Thanks.
Thank you, Ingo.
Thank you, Ingo. And by the way, great turnout today. I think we had about 100 people on it, so it's fantastic.
Nice.
Thank you, everybody.
Very nice.
Thank you,
Perfect.
Nikheel. Thank you, Joe. Thanks for joining us, and thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody. Till next time.